Welcome to the Phasmophobia 2023 Beginner's Guide. Now, if you're familiar with this channel, you know that the Phasmophobia 2022 Beginner's Guide that I made at the beginning of last year helped over 200,000 brand new players learn how to play Phasmophobia. Now, it's been a year, some things have changed in the game, so we're going to do the same video with the updates included. And who is this video for? It's for level 1 players that are learning how to play Phasmophobia, or people that have played, a few matches and are really frustrated, can't figure out the game, need some sort of direction. What I'm going to offer you in today's video is really a template, a basic template of how to play the game that you can apply to any size map and any difficulty with just the basic level 1 equipment that you are given by default. So this isn't stuff that we buy. We're missing all the other stuff that we buy. If you're interested in learning about smudge sticks, crucifixes, all that kind of stuff that you can buy and how all that stuff is used, I have equipment guides for every piece of equipment in the entire game. I have cursed possession videos that cover all the cursed possessions, how they work. I have videos on where to hide on each of the maps. I also have videos on all the different ghosts in the game and how to figure out which ghost you're dealing with, how to test for each ghost without having all the evidence. So if you want the more advanced stuff, I have all that on my channel. And if you're just learning how to play Phasmophobia in general, I've built this entire YouTube channel just for you. So in this video today, it's just going to be a basic playthrough with the basic equipment so that you can learn how to figure out, what the ghost is, how to survive, get out with some money as a level 1 player. So, what is the goal of Phasmophobia? Well, as I was just saying, we want to basically figure out what kind of ghosts we're dealing with here in the journal and get out alive. That's the simple, most ground zero way of explaining what Phasmophobia is. Now, there's a lot more to it than that. That's just the basic take. But how this works is the equipment that we have here, we have an EMF reader, we have a flashlight, we have a photo camera, we have a spirit box, a ghost writing book, a UV light, a dots projector, and a video camera. All those are going to be right here as pieces of evidence, except for the flashlight, and we are missing a thermometer because that isn't given to you as base equipment because we can get freezing temperatures by just seeing our breath. So how do we get the equipment to give us evidence? We're only going to get 3 pieces of evidence for every ghost in the game, except for the mimic. Don't worry too much about the mimic right now. We're just focused on getting in there, getting the evidence, getting out. If you happen to get it wrong because it's a mimic, in your first couple matches, so be it. At least you're figuring out all the other things that are so important in the game. So, basically, we're going to go into this house here, which is Tangled, my favorite map. It's very small. The small maps are best to learn on, I think, because you get more interaction with the ghost in less time spent because they're just generally going to be closer to you. We're going to go in here, try to locate the ghost room. And we're going to do that by basically listening. And I'll demonstrate all this in this match right now. And while we do that, we're going to look for the bone. There's a bone located in every single match. It might be a skull. It might be a set of ribs. It might be like a tibia or something. But we want to find the bone as we're looking for the ghost room, take a picture of it and pick it up because that's money. And then we have these side quests. Now, a lot of these we won't be able to complete because we only have the base equipment here. So you don't want to worry about all these. At this point, you're really just focused on figuring out what ghosts you're dealing with and getting out alive. But detect the ghost presence with a motion sensor. That's super simple if you have a motion sensor. You just set the motion sensor up in the ghost room, and if the ghost walks by it, you get that one. Get an average sanity below 25%. So we can do that. That's no equipment required. Cleanse the area near the ghost using smudge sticks. Now, we don't have smudge sticks or lighters, not part of the base equipment, but the smudge sticks are a huge thing with Phasmophobia. If you want to become a more advanced player, you will learn how to use the smudge stick to protect yourself and extend your time alive so that you can see the ghost more during the hunt and observe it and see what it's doing, how fast it is, that kind of thing. If you're curious about smudge sticks, I do have a how to use smudge sticks guide, so check that out on my channel. Now, why is this simple task of going in there, finding the ghost room, and figuring out what ghost is and getting out alive challenging? Well, sanity here. Sanity is huge, and we have this objective here, get below 25%. That's actually a somewhat tough objective for a beginner player because the lower our sanity gets, the more danger we're in. So we start at 100% sanity here. Our sanity will go down when we're in the dark, when we experience ghost events that are very close to us, or with some ghost special abilities that aren't really listed necessarily or obvious. That's something you learn with more and more hours in the game and researching the game. and watching content creators like myself. So we started at 100%. The real danger starts to occur with most ghosts around 50%. That's when the ghost will attempt what's called a hunt. Most ghosts. Some ghosts do this much earlier, some ghosts do this much later. But the bulk of the ghosts in Phasmophobia will initiate a hunt around 50% average sanity for your entire team. So for me, I am the team. My sanity is the average sanity, but if you have 3 other players in the match with you, 2 other players, whatever, pay attention to the average and what that total is. So once you get to around 50, most ghosts in the game will initiate what's called a hunt, where they try to basically attack you and kill you, so you have to run and hide. And I'll show you one of those during this match as well. So what we're going to do to go in here first, we're going to grab our flashlight. This is the low tier flashlight. It's not that great, but hey, you will make money in no time and then be able to upgrade to the better flashlight. We're going to grab the EMF, and we're going to grab the photo camera. Now the EMF, when we hear something, we're going to take the EMF up to it, and we're going to see if that was the thing that moved, and it'll give us a signal. And I'm sure that'll happen in this match, and I'll explain it. Now when we go in here, FBI, open up. The breaker's going to be on. So on the higher difficulty levels, the breaker will start in the off position. You have to turn it on so that the house can warm up a little bit so that you can get an accurate reading with the thermometer, which we don't have. And then, yeah, you'll be able to turn on the lights and save your sanity. But our lights are automatically on here on amateur. There we go. We have lights on. So what we're going to do is we're going to go room to room. We can use the ghost name. When you say the ghost name, it tends to respond more. Dorothy Moore. Give us a sign. This is a cursed possession. There's 6 different cursed possessions in the game. There will be one of those in each match. The cursed possession will always be, this music box will always be in the music box spot on this map. The mirror will always be in the mirror spot, tarot cards, and I have the locations of the cursed possessions in a video for all of you. So if you want to run down of all the maps and where the cursed possessions are, I walk through and show you. But we got a picture there. That's why we brought in our photo camera. The fact that it says something and has a star rating means that it's monetized. We get money for this photo, even though this isn't the most valuable photo in the game. It's still going to get us money, and I will have you know that, surprise, surprise, I have a updated guide on the new values of all the photos since they changed them all around in a more recent update. So, we got a photo of that. We're listening. Dorothy Moore, give us a sign. Also, ooh, I heard something. Was that here? Did you hear that? A lot of times you hear the ghost before you see it. I think it was... Where the hell was that? If we can't see what happened, or if we can't see it right away, we'll look for something that's out of place, because here, no, something went flying. We'll find it. But while we're looking for that, we're also scouting out places to hide. If you don't know the maps very well, this is very important, because closets here are good to hide. You would just get in here, turn your electronics off, hold the door shut, and wait for the hunt to end. And if you're not sure if you're getting hunted, it's always a good idea to do that until you're sure that you're safe. And we'll go over that in a hunt later in the match. Closets are good. There's also what's called clutter hiding spots throughout the maps. Like these boxes here. We would just get behind that, turn the electronics off. You want the electronics off and you want to be quiet during hunts. But step 1 to even getting there is scouting out your hiding spots and figuring out where the best hiding spot to go is in relation to the room that the ghost is in, so that you're not caught with your pants down trying to figure out where to go, because that's how most people die in the early stages of learning Phasmophobia. Was it in here? We will find something out of place. See, the breaker's on. This is the breaker. If the ghost ever, shuts the lights off, open this up and flip it to green again. Lockers are good hiding spots. Same thing. You would just get in, turn your electronics off, chill, hold the door shut, and be quiet. Dorothy Moore, give us a sign. Was it here? Maybe? I don't see anything that was thrown. Dorothy, give us a sign. It's been quiet since. And during this journey, we're also trying to locate the bone, wherever it may be. Which we don't have to get it right away. We can get it later in the match. It's just something that it's always in the back of your mind. Make sure you get the bone so you can get that extra money. Dorothy Moore. So we're searching. So this ghost hasn't necessarily said right away, oh, I'm here, come hunt me. But if that doesn't happen, don't get discouraged. Just keep with the process. Trust the process. Dorothy Moore. In the basement, there's also a pretty cool hiding spot that once you get to higher difficulties, like right back here, this is a designated hiding spot in the basement. Once you get to higher difficulties, a lot of these hiding spots will be blocked off to make the game more challenging. So that... Oh, we just turned the breaker off. You see that? So yeah, when more hiding spots are blocked off on higher difficulties, it's even more and more important that you scout out where you're going to hide and what's available. Ooh, so we got freezing here in the garage. You see that? You see our freezing breath? And that was an EMF too because he touched the breaker. We have freezing breath here. Let's see one more time. Oh no, he touched the... Ghost just interacted with the van, so we could probably get an EMF reading off this. Yeah, EMF 2. That means the ghost touched something. Stop it, ghost. That means the ghost touched something. EMF 3 means it threw something. EMF 4 means it manifested. So now we know where the ghost room is. It's messing around in the garage. It just opened a locker. It's messing around in the garage, so the next step here... We've seen some hiding spots. We could hide in that locker in the garage if we wanted to. We could hide out on the hallway in the closets. We have some options. Now we're going to set up all of our pieces of equipment in the garage. That's where we're going to be getting our evidence. So we've already done the first phase. We still need to find the bone. We'll find it later. It must be somewhere. We're not going to stress out about it too much now. We're going to check this locker for fingerprints. Okay, I heard the locker get touched. We'll check again a little bit later. So, to set up the ghost book, boom, press F, and it'll set down like that. Fingerprints, we're looking for doors, light switches, locker doors, stuff like that. It could even be on windows. So, if the ghost touches something, you want to check with the UV, and you will see a bright green glowing thing that's not normally there. It'll either be a fingerprint on the light switch or like a handprint, and that will be fingerprints evidence. So, we're going to go in our book here. We're going to put down the freezing. You'll see we marked off freezing and we lost a bunch of ghosts as being eligible. So it's only the ones that are not grayed out here that are potential right now. Now we're going to try the spirit box. Spirit box, you want to try it in the ghost room, or if the ghost is wandering on a higher difficulty, you want to be near the ghost, wherever it's throwing things or whatever. But it must be done in the dark. We have the light off. Right click. Spirit box is on. Now we're going to hold push to talk here. Where are you? How old are you? Are you friendly? Where are you? So when you ask the question successfully, the X lights up. Where are you? Watch the X. How old are you? There it was. And now if you get a response, A, you'll hear the ghost voice over the box, and B, you'll see the little ghost next to the X light up. So we'll try spirit box again later. It's one of those things you can try multiple times throughout the match. It's good to keep checking for evidence with different pieces of equipment. Especially, you always want to check the ghost writing book. You always want to keep checking for orbs if you don't have those yet. Definitely for EMF 5 as well. Here's our activity chart. It shows ghost activity. When it's level 10, you're getting hunted. If you ever are playing solo and you see this go from 0 directly to 4 in a straight line, that's generally an EMF 5. If you have other players in the house, it can be hard to tell, because if it's like a ghost event, then that's misleading. Little pro tip for you. Alright, we're going to take our DOTS projector and our video camera. And I'm going to show you something that'll save you a lot of time and potential deaths with setting up the video camera, the DOTS projector, and the ghostwriting all in one. And a good way to just get used to doing that. Most experienced players pretty much do this. You're going to press F, set the DOTS projector down. Now, if we have DOTS evidence, you'll see the outline of a ghost sprinting through there. Now, we're going to right-click here with the video camera, so we have night vision on. We're going to look around for orbs real quick. I don't see any orbs. Oh, wait, that's an orb right there. Right there, that glowing thing right there, that's an orb. They can be tough to see. You see it? There's only one at a time. That's an orb. So we know we have orbs. What we're going to do is we're going to hold F, and you can rotate the mouse to rotate the vision of the camera. You want to point it at the DOTS projector. And take your book and place it right here by the dots. so that you can see both the dots and the book on the camera, so that you can actually physically see if the ghost is writing in the book from the safety of the van. That's a good way to do it, even though I'm not sure if dots or writing are a possibility right now. We'll check. Because now that we have 2 pieces of evidence, we have orbs and freezing. We have 4 potential ghosts here. Hold on. Well, it could potentially be a mimic, so... But 4 potential ghosts here. What would a mimic be? Spirit box. And fingerprints. I don't think it's a mimic, because I don't think we have fingerprints. So I think we'll check again for fingerprints and or spirit box, but... to see if we have a mimic, because the way the mimic works, a little sidetrack here, the way the mimic works, it gives you 4 evidences, it gives you spirit box, fingerprints, freezing, but then you'll still have orbs that are fake. And this works, you'll always have the fake orbs on all difficulties, even if you set the custom difficulty to only have 2 evidences, you'll still have the orbs as extra to give away the mimic on the higher difficulties. Okay, so, orbs, freezing. We're going to click here. So we see that when we click EMF, there's no options available. We're going to rule out EMF. So we're going to look for either dots, fingies, writing, or spirit box. But I don't think it's fingerprints. I think we could probably rule out fingerprints. And you can cross that off if you want. Rev, Yuri, Onryo. Now, when you become a more advanced player, maybe you've watched a couple of those ghost guides that I have on YouTube, or you've seen some of my... Guess the Ghost challenges, where we play on nightmare mode and essentially have to guess between a few ghosts like this towards the end of the match, because on nightmare mode we're only allowed to have 2 pieces of evidence. It blocks the third. More experienced players will be able to tell what ghost it is or have a good idea just having these 2 pieces of evidence and seeing it hunt, because revs are really fast when they see you. Hantus are really fast in the cold and much slower in the warm, so you can play with the breaker, turn it off, turn it on. And Hantus also, with the breaker off, they'll show you their breath while they're hunting. Anywhere in the house with the breaker off. Yuris have a hidden ability where they'll shut the door of the room you're in and drain 15% of your sanity. Onryos have a hidden ability where they can blow out a candle and hunt. So you can do an Onryo test by placing a candle on a crucifix, multiple candles. And basically, if the crucifix burns, this is at higher difficulty. If a crucifix burns and the candle's still lit, you know you don't have an Onryo. But what we're going to do, as if you don't know what ghosties are, don't stress out about that. What you're going to do is find the third evidence, and you'll learn slowly that legendary ghosts like the Revenant are really fast when they see you and sound really slow when they don't. For the most part, that's a pretty good rule, even though it used to be more obvious before they kind of changed the rev. But if you start hiding, if the rev doesn't see you at the beginning of the hunt, then it's going to sound slow. Pretty much if you're playing solo the entire time, because it's not going to see you. Whereas a Hantu, you're going to hear it changing speeds based on if it's in the freezing room, which is the garage, running through there, versus other rooms. But don't worry too much about that now. You'll learn that over time. Right now, what we're doing is just trying to find the third piece of evidence as the car alarm keeps going off. So the reason we came out here, we're going to check our sanity. We're still at 78%. Also, worth noting that an Onryo will hunt earlier than all these other ghosts. So if we get hunted above 50% sanity, it's an Onryo. So we could, just having the ghost knowledge is huge in this game, and you'll learn that over time. But 50%, 50%, 50% for hunts, this is higher. So that we'll know. But if you don't know that, we're still going to get the third evidence. So let's see if we get some dots here. So there's the camera. It's facing the dots projector. We would be able to see the book moving a little bit and the pen on the book moving if the ghost was writing in it. That's why it's good to set up the camera like this. And as you start to buy equipment in the future, you'll be able to set up the camera on a tripod to get an even more obvious and better angle. So nothing's happening. We're going to go back in there. Now an Onryo, if it blows out a candle, which we don't have candles anyway, if it blows out a candle, it can hunt up to 100% sanity, I believe. And that's more likely to do that if it's already killed a teammate or 2 of yours. Where are you? So Onryos are actually the least dangerous when you play solo. How old are you? Are you friendly? Where are you? Okay, so if it's writing or dots. These are two that you have to stay disciplined for, if it's writing or dots, because we can't really use them like a spirit box, you know, where we can constantly ask the ghost and be pretty confident that it's not them. The ghost just has to decide to do it. Now, if we see the book get kicked and there's no writing in it, we know that that's not a writing ghost, because the ghost will always prioritize writing in the book over kicking it. So keep that in mind. But we haven't seen the book move. But these two can seemingly last forever. Don't get discouraged. Just keep checking. Keep your eye on it. And while we do that, we're going to talk about basically the strategy of surviving. So we know where the hiding spots are. Now, Phasmophobia, when you're escaping, what you want to think about is getting out of sight of the ghost and blocking line of sight with as many turns as possible. Because how the ghost works, once it starts to hunt, once it hits that sanity threshold that we were talking about at the beginning, and it decides to attack you, what the hell? You may not, you may have trouble identifying if that's what's happening. Just know that if you hear what sounds like a hunt and the ghost appears right away, that's a ghost event. There's other ways that we can figure it out based on audio, whether or not the light switch is movable. If you can move a light switch, whether or not the breaker's even on, that means the ghost is not hunting. If you can't move it, that means it's hunting. The front door will also lock during a hunt, and you'll hear that a lot of the time. Ooh, locker just moved? Still no fingies. It's most likely not a fingerprint ghost. Well, it definitely isn't a fingerprint ghost. The only ghost that can touch something and not leave a fingerprint is the Obake, and it only has a chance to do that, so we know it's not a Hantu. It's either Rev, Yuri, or Onryo. But yeah, so if you're not sure and you're not comfortable telling the difference between a ghost hunt and a ghost event, which a ghost event is basically the ghost just appearing and trying to scare you, draining some of your sanity perhaps, as where the hunt is where the ghost is really dangerous and will try to follow you and kill you. If you're not sure what the difference is or how to identify, I have a video that explains the differences and how to identify them, an in-depth guide. Surprise, surprise. Is that a EMF 4? Because of the ghost event. So that right there was a ghost event. That mist ball that came up and got us right there and hissed in our ear, A, that took 10% of our sanity, and B, that's why we had an EMF 4, because EMF 4s will happen when the ghost manifests. And also we'll see the spike here on the activity meter. Our sanity is down to 57%. So if we get hunted between now and 50, we know this ghost is an Onryo regardless of evidence. What was I saying? Okay, so if you're not comfortable knowing the difference between a hunt and an event, always run and hide. Because you're better off, you know, doing that and then realizing that it's not a hunt than, you know, vice versa. So always have those hiding spots planned. That's the biggest thing you can do in Phasmophobia to get more playing time in and to get better at the game, is just know where you're going, know where your hiding spots are. The actual hiding spots, lockers, closets, clutter hiding spots like I've showed you on this map. And then if something seems suspicious, you're getting out. And what you wouldn't want to do here is if the ghost spawns in to hunt here. Oh, we just got writing. We just got writing. Uh-oh. Let's go out and put it in the book. It's a Revenant. Oh my goodness. This is a ghost that used to be the scariest ghost in the game way back when. And then it wasn't so much anymore because people would take advantage of the fact that it wasn't as fast when it couldn't see you. Now, if it locks eyes onto you, it will still follow you to where it thinks you went, basically, after you break line of sight. I'm going to explain line of sight to you right now. So what happens when the ghost hunts? It spawns in, okay? Or at least it sounds like it does. On Amateur, we have a 5-second grace period before we will actually even see the ghost. So the hunt starts, we have 5 seconds to get out of dodge and go find a hiding spot before the ghost actually appears, and then goes into what's called a wander mode, where it just kind of wanders around the map, and then if it sees something, like you, the player, it will track you and try to kill you. So the way that you counter this is you don't want to hang out in the ghost room. You want to get out as soon as you suspect a hunt is starting. You want to get out immediately, and you want to turn as many corners as possible, get to a hiding spot. So what you wouldn't want to do here... Bro, we have dirty water? That's actually a really valuable picture. It's actually one of the more valuable pictures in the game. So what you don't want to do is maybe, especially on higher difficulties, when that time between when the hunt actually starts, when the ghost can actually manifest and kill you, drops down to like 2 seconds on Nightmare. You have a lot less time to get out of here. You don't want to go straight into the basement because the ghost is going to follow you down there. It's going to see you. What you want to do is go around the corner to whatever hiding spot you picked. And, you know, if this is the ghost room right here, we might actually go down into the basement because we're turning and breaking that line of sight. So you break line of sight once. So the ghost sees me, go around the corner here. The ghost is also going to come around the corner here. And then by the time it gets around here, it's going to have no clue where I went because I'm going to be around this corner. Also, while you're doing this, and this is where map knowledge is going to come in handy, you're going to make sure your electronics are off. So if you have a flashlight, turn it off or drop it. If you have an EMF in your hand, turn it off or drop it. And try to get to your hiding spot in the dark if you can. Because within like 10 or so meters, you'll see the electronic equipment distorts when the ghost is around. For most ghosts, that means the ghost can sense you, and it's gonna come searching for you with all ghosts but the yokai. The yokai has to be within like a couple meters, regardless of your flashlight distorting or whatever. So, yes, we're doing all this while our electronic equipment is off. Also, while we're being quiet. So the ghost will also have that same rule when you turn on your walkie-talkie, or you're talking to your friends. So, there we go. That covers that. So the plan in this particular situation, garage ghost, for me, when the hunt starts, oh my god, we sprint out here, go around the corner, flashlight off. We're going to go in this closet right here because we've turned 2 corners. We're going to hold it and we're pretty safe. And this whole idea changes here when you have a smudge stick. Because if you check out my smudge stick guide, all you do is you hold the smudge stick in the lighter when the ghost gets close. You right click and light the smudge stick, and the ghost can't see you for 6 seconds. You can literally walk through it for those 6 seconds and it won't be able to kill you. So that'll help you buy more time to get to a hiding spot and play at an even higher level. But this is just base equipment level 1. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to get this hunt going. We know it's going to hunt from in this room. And you'll hear what it sounds like when the hunt starts. Just killed the break. He's killed the breaker again. There we go. Oh my god, another ghost event. We're definitely within hunting sanity. We're below 50% now. It can hunt at any second. Now, on an amateur difficulty, the hunts are quick. The higher difficulty you go, the longer they last. Also, if you use a cursed possession, which there we go. That's a hunt. See, the ghost didn't even start moving yet. We're already in the closet. Look at that. It just started moving now. So we were completely safe there because we got out of dodge right away. See how fast I dropped my flashlight because I knew where I was going and I got there? Also, listen to the speed of the footsteps. That's a huge thing in Phasmophobia. That hunt was short. We got out safely. But did you hear the speed? So slow. That was slower than your average ghost that you'll hear because the rev is... Hey. You bitch. Because the rev is super slow when it doesn't see you. If it does see you go around the corner, it'll be one of the fastest ghosts in the game. When it's following you, it's literally so fast. And like, if it sees you go around the corner from, say, the back of the garage, it sees me right here, it'll keep that speed until it comes around this corner here. And then it'll take a couple seconds after that to fully slow back down again, so. You really, without a smudge, don't want to get spotted by the rev at all. There we go, it's hunting again. Get to our hiding spot. We don't... Listen. Hear how slow it is? Those are definitely slow footsteps compared to the average speed of ghosts. Interesting, right? So yes, that's that. This will give you a very good base to mess with Phasmophobia. I'm going to get a dirty water pick real quick. We also didn't find the bone. Dirty water is a pretty valuable picture. The valuable ones are the ghost photo. Dirty water photos, if you have crucifixes that are burnt up by the ghost, those are valuable, as well as photos of the bones. Let's try and find the bone photo. Here's the bone. It can be in a tricky spot like that. Get the picture, pick it up. That's going to be money. And notice how it didn't hang out over there, because I don't want to have to cross over to try and get to the hiding spot when I know the Rev's going to hunt right here. I'm always mindful of that. But yes, right there, that's a basic playthrough. That's a basic playthrough. Was it perfect? No. Did I have all the fancy equipment? No. But if you're a level 1, I don't think there's enough videos that are catered to you on the internet. Everyone wants to show off how great they are and how awesome of a ghost hunter and how knowledgeable they are. But when they throw too much knowledge at you, I know this as a player who learned from level 1 as well. When they throw too much knowledge at you, it's very overwhelming and it all seems useless. So this right here is how you want to build your match template for Phasmophobia to succeed consistently and slowly learn the game over time. And it's a good way to bring your friends into the game as well. Show them that process. So just to go over the process again real quick, we took our flashlight, our EMF, our photo camera into the house. We have our ears open. Listening is incredibly important in Phasmophobia because we're looking for the ghost room. We found where the ghost was located, and then we started setting up all equipment to get evidence. And we figured out what ghost it was, took some pictures along the way, got the bone, and then we got out alive because while we were doing that, we found hiding spots, and then we figured out which hiding spot would be best for us based on the rules that I told you with how to evade the ghost there. And as soon as we thought the ghost was hunting, we got out of there, we hid, we turned our electronics off, we stayed quiet, and we made it out alive. Now, the reason the ghost wasn't hunting me wasn't following me even though I was talking is because I wasn't using the push to talk. So you can make noise as long as you're using push to talk and then not actually pushing to talk, if that makes sense. So we got a Revenant. Now, normally we would just get out here, we would go back to the home screen, get our money. But what I want to show y'all is the Revenant and how fast it is when it sees you. And how scary this can be. Because this is terrifying, fam. I want to try to get it to see me. Oh, man. I may have just killed the breaker. One thing about the breaker, if you turn on too many light switches in the house, you can blow it. Alright, come on. Come on, Revy. Shut that off. So, you heard the footsteps and how slow they were, and you're going to see one of the fastest ghosts in the game right here. The Revenant. So, if you have one, you would like for it to not see you, but in this case, it's going to see us, and it's going to hunt right from that garage. Also, it's going to separate a huge thing to become a more advanced player, on top of just knowledge of the ghosts, what sanities they hunt at, what their hidden abilities are, all that kind of stuff, is not being afraid to mess with a ghost during a hunt, especially once you learn how to use smudge sticks, which, like I keep saying, check out my guide. Also, drop me a Twitch follow, where I'm live 6 days a week with content just like this. It would be awesome to meet you and see you over there. Here we go. Links are in the description of the video. Listen. Slow. Slow. There it is. Oh, sped up. Hear how fast it went? Now it's slow again. So we escaped it. But, so, if we hypothetically didn't have any evidence there, if we were doing like a no evidence challenge or we were on nightmare mode, we would have been able to tell, based on the sound of the footsteps, how slow they were. And then all of a sudden when it saw us and how it took off, that it was a Rev, based on the options given. For sure, because if that was a Hantu, it would have been fast that whole time in the garage, because Hantus are fast in the cold. And Ure and Anre are both average speed, which means the Rev sounded slower than average, and then it sounded faster than average. It never sounded average. So there you have it, and what I was saying real quick about becoming a more advanced Phasmophobia player is not being afraid of the hunt, staying calm, learning how to use the smudge, which is pretty simple. Once you buy smudges and you buy lighters, you basically you have your flashlight, you have a smudge stick and a lighter. Those are your three things. You toggle to the smudge stick, and then you have that in your inventory. When the ghost runs at you, when it gets close, you just right-click and light the smudge. And then you have 6 seconds before the ghost can see again. And that means you could even touch the ghost within those 6 seconds, and you're not going to die. So, utilizing the smudge sticks to observe more during the hunt, to see the speed, that kind of stuff, is a huge difference between more advanced players and new players. So don't be afraid. I know this game's scary at first, for sure. Don't be ashamed to be scared. There's a lot of people that like to camp out here in the van and look at the monitor. If you're a more advanced player, don't give them too much crap. I mean, we've all been there. This game is terrifying at first. And if you're a new player, hey, don't be afraid to get in there and mix it up with the ghosts a little bit, especially with all these tips that I give you. So I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll answer them as quick as possible. And happy ghost hunting. What I was saying earlier, make sure you drop that Twitch follow. Join up with the Discord as well. My Discord, there's like 2,000 Phasmophobia players in there. And it's a great place to either learn how to play the game regardless of what level you are. And a great place to make friends to play with. Links for everything will be in the description of this video. And let's get out of here with our rev selections. We can see it at the end here. Awkward silence. There you have the Revenant.
There's some jobs ready for you.
Skip this. So you can see the bone evidence means we picked up the bone. Investigation bonus means we guessed the ghost correctly. The reward multipliers because we're on amateur. Photos 25. As you buy equipment, you'll be able to take up to 10 pictures instead of just the 5 because we only had 1 camera. And I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one. Happy ghost hunting. Good luck out there.